The laughter stopped so abruptly that Ellen's sound engineer thought someone had cut the audio feed. One moment, Ellen DeGeneres was discussing childhood health awareness with a pediatric doctor, her audience of 300 people enjoying the educational conversation about keeping kids healthy. The next moment, complete silence as an 8-year-old girl in the front row stood up and said 17 words that would change everything. I pretend to be sick so doctors will take my kidney for my big brother. He's dying and I'm too little to save him. The studio fell into stunned quiet. Ellen's smile faded as she processed what she'd just heard from this little girl, whose words carried the weight of desperate love and impossible sacrifice. It was Thursday afternoon at the Warner Bros. Studios in Burbank. Ellen's Kids Health Heroes segment was being taped, the set decorated with colorful health awareness posters and inspiring stories of children overcoming medical challenges. The energy had been exactly what producers expected: educational, uplifting, filled with stories of young people showing remarkable courage in facing health issues. But sitting in the front row, wearing a bright pink dress and clutching a small stuffed elephant, was someone whose presence would transform this ordinary Thursday into television history. 8-year-old Lucy Chen was a second grader carrying a secret that would stop Ellen's show and create the most emotional moment about sibling love, childhood innocence, and the lengths one child would go to save another. What Ellen didn't know was that Lucy carried a story that would redefine what it means to be a little sister and reveal the pure, unfiltered love that children possess before the world teaches them about limitations. Lucy was a small girl with long black hair tied in 2 ponytails with pink ribbons, bright brown eyes that seemed much older than her 8 years, and a smile that could light up any room when she wasn't worried. She wore a carefully chosen outfit, her favorite pink dress with flowers on it, because she wanted to look grown up and responsible for the doctors she planned to convince. Around her wrist was a hospital bracelet that read visitor, but which she wore like a badge of honor. The show had progressed normally through its opening segments. Ellen danced through the audience with her characteristic energy, celebrating children who had shown courage in dealing with various health challenges. She interviewed the pediatric doctor about childhood wellness programs, creating the kind of informative content that helped families take better care of their children. During the Kids Health Heroes segment, Ellen had been highlighting young people who had overcome medical obstacles or shown extraordinary bravery during treatment. She'd spoken with several children about their journeys, sharing stories that showcased the incredible resilience and positive attitudes that kids could maintain even in difficult circumstances. The atmosphere was both educational and inspiring, honoring children who faced medical challenges with remarkable courage. Then Ellen noticed something that made her pause mid-conversation. While other children in the audience were smiling and enjoying the health-focused discussion, Lucy was staring at her stuffed elephant with an expression of profound worry that seemed impossible for someone so young. "I'm sorry," Ellen said, approaching Lucy's row with the gentle concern that had made her beloved by children worldwide. "I can see you have something important on your mind, sweetheart. What's your name, and would you like to share what's troubling you?" Lucy looked up at Ellen with eyes that carried far too much responsibility for an 8-year-old. She held up her stuffed elephant, and Ellen could see that it was well worn from being hugged countless times. "I'm Lucy Chen, and I'm 8 years old," she said, her voice clear despite her obvious nervousness. "This is Ellie, my elephant. She goes with me everywhere, especially to the hospital when I visit my big brother Max." The studio began to quiet, as audience members sensed they were about to witness something far more serious than typical childhood health discussions. "Lucy, tell me about your big brother Max," Ellen said gently, kneeling down to Lucy's level with the patience that had made her America's favorite daytime host. Lucy's small hands gripped her elephant tighter as she prepared to share her story. "Max is 12, and he's the best big brother in the whole world. He taught me how to ride a bike, and he helps me with my homework, and he always shares his candy with me even when Mom says he doesn't have to." Ellen felt her chest begin to tighten as she sensed this story was heading somewhere heartbreaking. "Lucy, you mentioned visiting Max at the hospital. Is he sick?" "Max has something wrong with his kidneys," Lucy replied, her voice becoming smaller. "The doctors say his kidneys don't work right anymore, and he needs new ones from someone else. He has to go to the hospital 3 times every week for something called dialysis that cleans his blood because his kidneys can't do it. The cameras had instinctively moved closer, understanding they were capturing something profound about childhood innocence, confronting medical reality. Max used to play soccer and run really fast, but now he gets tired all the time, Lucy continued, tears beginning to form in her eyes. Mom and Dad are always worried, and they think I don't know how scared they are, but I hear them crying at night when they think I'm sleeping. Ellen reached out and took Lucy's small hand. Lucy, that must be very scary for your whole family. The doctors told us that Max needs a kidney transplant, but he's on a waiting list and it might take a really long time, Lucy said, her voice breaking. They said family members can sometimes give a kidney because people have two and only need one, but Mom and Dad can't give Max a kidney because their blood types don't match. The silence in the studio was now complete as everyone understood they were witnessing a child grappling with medical complexities far beyond her years. Lucy, Ellen said carefully, what does this have to do with you pretending to be sick? Lucy took a deep breath, gathering courage for what she was about to reveal. I have the same blood type as Max. The doctors told Mom and Dad that I could give Max a kidney when I'm older, but they said I have to wait until I'm at least 18 because I'm too little for the surgery. Ellen felt something profound shift in her understanding of childhood love and sacrifice. But Lucy, you're only 8 years old. I know, but Max can't wait 10 more years, Lucy said, tears now flowing freely. So I've been going to different hospitals and pretending to be sick so doctors will check me. I tell them I'm 12 like Max, and I wear Mom's makeup to look older, and I practice talking in a deeper voice. The camera operators were now completely focused on Lucy, understanding they were witnessing something that transcended typical medical stories. This was about pure, selfless love in its most innocent form. I looked up kidney transplants on Mom's computer. Lucy continued with the matter-of-fact tone that only children can use when discussing life and death situations. I know it's a big surgery and it might hurt, but I don't care. Max gave me his Halloween candy last year when I was sad, and he always protects me from scary movies, and he deserves to be healthy and play soccer again. Ellen stood up slowly, her mind reeling with the magnitude of what this 8-year-old was attempting to do. Lucy, have you told your parents about your plan? No, because they would stop me, Lucy replied honestly. Adults always think kids can't make important decisions, but I know what I want to do. I want to save my brother, and I don't understand why I have to wait 10 years when Max is sick right now. That's when Ellen made a decision that would define this moment forever. She walked to center stage and addressed her production team with an urgency that surprised everyone. Lucy, Ellen announced, I think it's time for your family to hear what you've been planning, but more importantly, I think it's time for some very special doctors to meet the bravest little girl I've ever encountered. Are Max and your parents here today? From the backstage area, a family of 4 emerged. 2 parents in their early 40s who looked exhausted from months of medical stress, and a 12-year-old boy who was thin and pale, but whose face lit up the moment he saw his little sister. Lucy, Max called out, though his voice was weaker than a typical 12-year-old's. What are you doing on TV without me? Mrs. Chen approached with confusion and concern. Lucy, sweetheart, what's going on? The producers said you had something important to tell us. Mr. Chen followed, his face showing the strain of a father watching his son suffer while feeling helpless to fix it. Ellen watched this family interaction with growing understanding of the desperate love that had driven Lucy to her impossible plan. Mr. and Mrs. Chen, Max, Ellen said gently. Lucy has something very important to tell you about what she's been doing to try to help Max get better. Lucy looked at her family with the serious expression of someone about to confess something monumentous. Max, Mom, Dad, I've been trying to give you my kidney. The silence that followed was profound. Mrs. Chen's hand flew to her mouth in shock. Mr. Chen's eyes filled with tears, and Max looked at his little sister with a mixture of love and disbelief. Lucy, what do you mean? Mrs. Chen asked, her voice barely a whisper. I've been going to hospitals and pretending to be 12 so doctors will let me give Max my kidney, Lucy explained, her voice gaining strength as she finally shared her secret. I know you said I'm too little, but Max can't wait until I'm grown up. He needs help now. Max approached his sister with tears streaming down his face. "Lucy, you can't do that. You're my little sister. I'm supposed to protect you, not let you get hurt to help me. But you're sick, and I can make you better." Lucy replied with the simple logic of childhood. "That's what families do. We help each other." Ellen, who had remained composed through thousands of emotional moments on her show, found herself openly crying as she watched this family confront the pure love of a child willing to sacrifice anything for her brother. "Lucy," Mrs. Chen said, kneeling down to hug her daughter, "we love you so much for wanting to help Max. But sweetheart, there are medical reasons why children can't donate organs. It's not safe for you." "But I researched it," Lucy protested. "Kids in other countries do it sometimes." That's when Ellen made another unprecedented decision. She gestured to the backstage area, and another figure emerged, Dr. Sarah Martinez, one of the country's leading pediatric transplant specialists. "Dr. Martinez," Ellen announced, "has been working on something very special that I think this family needs to hear about." Dr. Martinez approached the Chen family with a warm smile. "Lucy, your love for your brother is extraordinary, and while you can't donate a kidney right now, your bravery has inspired something wonderful." She turned to address the entire family. "Because of stories like yours, our hospital has established a new program specifically for pediatric kidney patients. We've found an adult donor match for Max, and the surgery can happen next week." The studio erupted in gasps of amazement and joy. Max looked stunned. His parents began crying tears of relief, and Lucy jumped up and down with excitement. "Really?" Max asked, his voice filled with hope for the first time in months. "Someone wants to give me their kidney? A wonderful person read about your case and volunteered to be tested," Dr. Martinez explained. "They're a perfect match, and they want to help save your life." Ellen made yet another decision that would change this family's life forever. She walked to her desk and wrote out a check, returning to the family with a gift that would eliminate their financial stress. "This is for your family," Ellen said, handing Mr. Chen a check for $75,000 for Max's surgery, recovery, and anything else you need. "But more than that, I want to start the Lucy Chen Bravehearts Foundation for siblings of children with serious illnesses." But Ellen wasn't finished. She reached into her jacket and pulled out a small wrapped box. "This is for Lucy, the bravest little sister in the world." Lucy opened the box to find a beautiful silver necklace with a heart-shaped pendant engraved with the words, "Lucy's brave heart, love makes everything possible." "Lucy," Ellen said, fastening the necklace around the little girl's neck, "you can't give Max your kidney right now, but you gave him something even more important. You showed him how much he's loved." Ellen reached into her jacket and pulled out her personal business card. "This has my direct number," she said, pressing it into Mrs. Chen's hand. "Because what Lucy showed us today is that love doesn't have age limits, and the biggest hearts sometimes come in the smallest packages." As the episode concluded, Ellen addressed her audience with words that would be remembered forever. "Today we learned that heroism isn't about age or size, it's about the size of your heart." Lucy Chen proved that an 8-year-old's love for her brother is powerful enough to move mountains, find miracles, and remind us all what family really means. The episode aired exactly as it happened, becoming the most watched pediatric health segment in television history. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Organ donation registrations increased by 400% in the weeks following the broadcast, with many people citing Lucy's story as their inspiration. Lucy's courage sparked a national conversation about pediatric organ donation and the emotional impact of serious illness on entire families. The Lucy Chen Bravehearts Foundation, established with Ellen's donation, has since provided support for over 500 families dealing with childhood serious illnesses. Max's surgery was completely successful. 3 weeks after the Ellen Show appearance, he received his new kidney from the anonymous donor who had been inspired by Lucy's story. His recovery was remarkable, and within 6 months he was back to playing soccer and living the active life of a healthy 12-year-old. 6 months after their Ellen appearance, the entire Chen family returned to the show with news that brought the house down. Max was thriving with his new kidney, and Lucy had started a pen pal program, connecting siblings of sick children with each other for support. Lucy taught me that being brave isn't about not being scared. Max told Ellen during their return visit. It's about loving someone so much that you'll do anything to help them, even when you're little. Lucy, now 9 and even more confident, had become a spokesperson for the foundation, speaking at hospitals about sibling support and the importance of including brothers and sisters in the healing process. Ellen keeps a photo from that first day on her desk, Lucy in her pink dress, hugging her stuffed elephant while Max wraps his arms around his brave little sister. Next to it sits a drawing Lucy made, 2 stick figures holding hands with the words, "Big Brothers and Little Sisters Love Forever." The hospital bracelet Lucy wore that day is now displayed at the National Museum of Medicine as part of an exhibit about family love and medical miracles. It serves as a reminder that sometimes the most powerful medicine comes not from doctors or procedures, but from the unlimited love of a little sister. Today, Lucy Chen is 10 years old and thriving in school, where she started a club for kids who have siblings with medical challenges. She speaks at medical conferences about the importance of including young family members in treatment discussions and providing age-appropriate support. Max, now 14, has become an advocate for organ donation and frequently speaks alongside his sister about the gift of life they received. He always begins his presentations the same way. My little sister tried to give me her kidney when she was 8 years old, which taught me that love doesn't wait for permission, because sometimes the biggest heroes have the smallest voices. Sometimes an 8-year-old's love is powerful enough to save lives and change medical policies. And sometimes the most important lesson about family comes from a little girl who was willing to give up part of herself to save the brother she loved more than anything in the world.